Boom, baby, boom. Rise and shine. It's your morning marijuana motivation time. I already got my guy with his coffee up here. It's steaming. It's ready for the morning motivation. And I'm actually quite tired this morning. I've been up since 4 a.m. doing a contract for our first, INISEC customer, and I woke up this morning 4 hours later because the whole shop's got to get up, and there was nothing. There was nobody signed anything, and that's the hard part. I'll say that part. Hey, or no, 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 that part. The part that they don't talk about is the effort when you're tired and you're lonely and you're broke and lonely, and you want things to progress, but you're going against your instincts. Go ahead, saws it up, bro. This is going to be one of those kind of conversations because it is the hardest part to go against your instincts and be who you want to be in life. That's Saints addiction. So I got the money slavery here, got the dollar, the pound, the Argentina, a V, euro, reais, and yuan. It's all first it was yesterday, it was over here. They were drilling holes right down on the street. Next thing you know, there's no crane here anymore because they took it down, and you can hear them sawing in the background. So it comes from all places. It's not just one thing, it's the pull of things. And I thought, what they don't tell you is it's not just the long hours and the hard work and you wanting to be tired and wanting to relax. The thing they don't tell you is that you go against yourself. You go against things that are normally your instincts, like to talk back, or your temperament, or the way you just process things. And unfortunately, that is the hard part. The hard part is managing yourself so that you can manage people. My jaw, I was in some weird pain, you know. Instead of freaking out and wanting to pipe up, or I'm so tired, want to fucking pop off or pipe up, and I'm gonna smoke this joint weed club. It's more than the couch that you're crashing on. It's the personality of the person that owns the house. If they want to be crazy, it's like being when I was raised, from a an alcoholic point of view, was you didn't know how my dad was going to come home. You didn't know what kind of mood he would be in. And in that, you find yourself doing things that you didn't think you were going to end up doing. You thought you were chilling, and he comes home angry, and now the whole vibe of the house is fucked up. Or that sometimes the team isn't so much of a team, but it's more of a dream. Or sometimes you do put in the hours and you don't get anything to come back from it. That's the hard part. That's the part that they don't teach you. There's not a school for it. There's not like a lesson plans. No one's going to let you, or no one's going to be able to tell you your own barometer of how hard you're willing to work, how far you're willing to go, and how far can you push yourself with your willpower. It's a tough discussion, but it takes place. And as I wake up this morning, Lord knows, I need a walk. I need a SIM card. I need a break. I need some sleep. And I need this contract to be signed. But none of that's guaranteed. I'm listening to Elon Musk this morning, and he's talking about taking showers at the YMCA. I've been there before, drilling holes in the floor so he can connect to the Ethernet, going all out for the Mars thing when he's supposed to be the internet guy. And that's what it is. It's like you're going to be judged by your peers. That's going to be the hard part. You want everybody to believe, but they don't. And you don't even know how far you can go. And this is a tough conversation to have. It's like, it's no surprise to me, I am my own worst enemy, right? So that's lyrics on shirts. And how hard it is to motivate you. Not to be in contest with anybody else, but every morning you wake up. Did you wake up? Did you put in work? Did you go back to your same cycles and habits and patterns? This is the thing that we all end up doing. We end up going back to our patterns because that's the guy to beat. That guy wants to sit on the couch, smoke some weed, not do anything. And then there's your dreams right in front of you. You're wearing them, and they're just like, come on, get up, champ. You got another round in you. It's almost like having a coach. It's like you have an inner coach inside of yourself, and then you're going to coach other people, especially if you're a manager. And they don't tell you that you got to drop your personality. You don't get to wear your heart on your sleeve. We talk about it when we're selling cars, but it's true. Nobody wants to buy a car from somebody that's getting a divorce, because you would like to talk about your divorce, but this is not the time nor the place for that kind of conversation. But it'll be on your head. And to swallow that, that's the hard part. That's the hard part that they don't teach you, is like, you don't get to be your personality. You want to be your gregarious self, or your lazy self, or that pattern self that you developed, but then you got to turn on a personality. It's like they keep talking about women in the red pill community. They don't want to have, don't need a man. Nobody told them what to do, what to wear, and where to go. But that's exactly what their boss does. I was watching the girl almost get fired. Did she get fired? I don't know. It's not my story, but she got called into HR for wearing some slutty ass outfits that she was looking like she was in the club, and she was distracting the other people. And she was like, well, that's their problem. No, it's a you problem, bro. Because now you're in the fucking HR department and they're reporting you, and then you're going to get fired. And you're wondering why all these people got canceled, like Jimmy Kimmel, for busting up on Charlie Kirk. You can't really get to speak your mind. Sure, there's free press, but if it makes the company look bad, then you can't wear the logo, bro. And the hard part is being part of a corporation where you don't get to get your own personality. I think that's hard. And listening to a husband, but you can listen to a boss. You'll tell him to fuck off, but as soon as you get to work, you got some other guy telling you you're late and you got to be on time. What's up, North? I see you, brother. It's a complete oxymoron, but it's not. It's the truth. It's that hard part that people don't want to talk about. My buddies want to sit by the bench and go, how long have you been clean? And how'd you get sober? And how did you start this dream? And I was like, bro, I was getting arrested. I've been to 3 different prisons in 3 different countries. I was fucking up all sorts of ways. I did cocaine all the way up till I traveled by saints, man. I had a problem with my addictions, and that's why I call it saints addiction. I was keeping it real with myself. I'm an honest sinner, bro. It wasn't like I'm just always a winner. No, you got to take some losses too. They don't want to tell you what it's like to keep building your dream after you lost your baby, or to make a business without any money, or to be under someone else's roof and they got different rules. It's all about your environment. It's all about your willpower, and it's also about your stick-to-itiveness. Are you going to actually stick to what you say you're going to do, or are you going to capitulate and be like, yeah, man, I give up. It's too hard for me, and then I'll get right back on the couch, and that'd be the hard part. The first push-up is pushing your ass off the couch. The second push-up is pushing yourself to do what you said you wanted to do with your dream. And then the third part is dealing with people as they interpret your dream as you're trying to build it. They don't talk about that part. My mom throwing my shit from the 3rd story window. I literally had to catch my laptop so it didn't break on the ground. Now she wants to talk, and I'm like, I have no time to talk about this shit. I've been up since 4 a.m., and I was tired yesterday and the day before, and I still got to get up and make a contract and do the pricing and make a graph and send it out on time so we can get that client. These are the hard parts, the extra hours. You know, I was working 16, 17-hour days selling cars. I was like, might as well work for myself. I'm almost working a full 24 hours. And by the way, I used to go in on Sundays when it was closed. They're not going to tell you that part. They're not going to tell you that the guy from NVIDIA cleaned more toilets than anybody in that room. Nobody wants to talk about him being a dishwasher and a janitor and scrubbing shit stains off of toilets. No, but you want to be in control of a $4 trillion company. This is where it starts. We all want to think that Elon Musk just got billions. He didn't. He cashed out with 20 million. He had 10 grand in the bank. Got a check for 20 million minus taxes, and then put it all in on another company. These could have failed. You're going to buy rockets in Russia? That's a failure. You're an IT guy that's trying to buy ICBM fucking missiles. That's a fucking lot. Hello, I like the beard. Beards on Shirts. I'm going around complimenting people live. That's really cool, Kiri. I appreciate that. Beardsonshirts.com. But that's what it is. It's that hard part of saying something nice and not starting to pop off. I saw the other guy the other day. He was on some shut the fuck up, and I'm like, why would you spend any energy trying to tell somebody else to shut the fuck up when you need to start talking? You know, why would you listen to somebody else when they're trying to tell you what it is, but you got the vision in your head? And then, by the way, you're going to have to shape your own character and make this a new story that they haven't heard. They know the character that you are. Especially your friends. Like my buddy's like, I'm gonna clean the kitchen. I'm like, bullshit, prove it. Let me see it. Sure as shit, there still was dishes. He quit on finishing it. He cleaned one counter. He's like, good job. And I'm like, yeah, that's half a job. You know, when we do things half-ass, we get half-ass results. And then we're wondering why they haven't worked out for us. But we quit on the job. You know, it's like a no call, no show. You just won't show up for yourself. But that's the hard part, showing up for yourself when nobody else believes, completing the dream, and being flexible enough to make something into a reality. Nobody wants to do that. They want it to be falling on their lap. They want Miss America to come knocking on their door, offering them a blowjob, and it's not going to happen. It doesn't work that way. You got to work yourself that way, and that's what Elon Musk said. You got to work, do the work. He was reading 2 books a day, like as a kid, and nobody wants to give him credit. But it's like you got to give hard work credit because hard work pays. Now I got the drilling on the other side, like I told you about. It's on both sides. It's your willpower. It's your character, the content of your character, like Martin Luther King said, and it's also your ability. Let me clutch the island to move yourself when you don't want to. That's the hard part, bro. When you're going like, I'm tired, or I'm lonely, or things aren't working out for me. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. That's the story of everybody. You know, had one of my reliable models give me my dad's in ICU. I'm taking care of a friend that's in the emergency room, and I'm about to be evicted. It's like, dude, you got Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You can't get to the creation of a brand and want to be a designer if you aren't the type of person that knows where they're going to live. I had to start at the bottom where I was already homeless, and then keep going from there. Get myself somewhere to live, give myself something to eat, then go travel, and then try going traveling with no money, and then trying to find something to eat. It's hard. It's hard part. And then people want to be like, oh man, I want to travel the world too. I bet you do. I had this conversation with my buddy. He was on some, I want to travel the world like you. And I'm like, yeah, but do you want to be homeless? Do you want to sleep out of your car? Do you want to go days without showers? Do you want to sometimes not know what you're going to eat? That's the hard part. But people want to be like, oh, it looks so easy. We watch the people that are smiling and they're on front of the step and repeat and they're on the Hollywood Walk of Fame or on the red carpet, and they look so put together, but they got an assistant. You know what I mean? They were given the fucking clothing, and all they had to do was show up and someone else did their makeup. Like, that's not the hard part. The hard part's getting there where you did the work, where you actually earned your part on the movie, or that you had to go through what do they call those trials when you go they're not trials. What do they call that? Not interviews. What the fuck? The auditions when you're trying to get a part, or when you're trying to do an interview and trying to get a job, or keep your job even though you're popping off on the social media. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, these guys are getting fired and they're crying online because they were speaking their mind, but really what they were showing everybody else is like, look, I shake my ass on the weekends. We all know it, bro. Like, you've been posting it, but you don't want anybody to know you got an OnlyFans page. You don't want anybody to know that you're secretly moonlighting as lazy and somebody that has an idea but doesn't want to work it. And I see you, Bacon. Thanks for saying hi. You know what I mean? And it's all these things that's the hard part that we all have to do, but nobody wants to talk about it or participate. You got to pay the price for the prize, and there's a price in it that's more calculable than money and time. It's the counter instincts where you want to go to do the things that make you feel comfortable, and the things that are you've already woven. They call it a dopamine map in your head, where you go like, if I do this, then I get that, and then I feel this way, and then I'm back to where I started in the beginning or yesterday. And it's like you're looking at yourself in the mirror is really what it is. A man in the mirror moment, to be able to look at yourself and say, okay, I can count on myself to be back on that couch. I can count on myself to eat this certain type of foods. I can count on myself to act a certain type of way in a certain type of situation. The hard part is to not react that way and get emotional and pull some shit, and then all of a sudden everything's sideways, or that you will have to break some patterns that like are bad for you, like smoking cigarettes and eating fast foods, or any other degenerative addictive behaviors. And then of course it's the other part too, where you're going like, me, the one I'm talking to in the mirror, how bad do I want it to get me to go up early in the morning and work late at night? And I'm like saying 16, 17-hour days. I'm like, I might as well work for myself. I figured I was selling 20 cars a month. Well, I bet you I could sell 100 shirts. That's how I rationalized it. And you know what? I don't need to be drinking. I need to be buying domains. And this drink that I was buying would only last like 30 seconds if I'm pounding it, or if somebody spills it, or if I'm sitting too long, maybe an hour later it gets warm. That's what I was looking at. I was like, okay, what if I buy this domain name? It lasts me a year. I stay sober, and it's for my wealth and my health and my mentality and my dream. Like, that's what I put my energy towards, the things that I wanted to see grow. And I find people do the easy part, and like, I already know how to do this part, like feed my cat. I already know how to do this part, like walk my dog. I already know this part, do a TikTok. Those are the easy parts. That's not the hard work. The hard work would be like scheduling out all your videos and editing them, finding a social media manager, or hiring InnoSec, or figuring it out with the team and have to get along with their personalities and the way that they're feeling or the way that they're acting. And the whole time you want to be just like your siblings and just kind of punch them in the arm and go, fucker, I get the front seat. I got shotgun. But it doesn't work that way. You don't get to really bully people around. You got to work with people. It's really hard to do. If you've ever been in customer service, you know how hard it is to be around people and deal with their mentality and their vibration, or whatever kind of energy they bring with the when they come into the office. Just now we had a guy come in the office, and he was so loud on the phone, and as soon as he left, everybody started talking again. Music came back on. We got to watch our shows. We got back to our regular scheduled program, but people that aren't with the other program are doing TikTok videos in the airport trying to record, and then they're pissed that people don't see that the camera's there. This is a public place. It was just like the other guy. This is my park. Well, now they ripped up the park. I guess you got no park anymore. I'm the main character of the story. So many people think that they're the only ones in the game. It's hard to be selfless and actually step out of yourself and start seeing other people. I'm watching girls doing videos, TikTok videos, and they're rolling backwards. Instagram reels, really. I don't have TikTok, but I'm just saying this kind of imagery, this kind of videos. And she's drunk on the strip, and she runs into an old lady and like a bag lady in her cart. She's like, you're doing something that you wouldn't do if you were sober. Two, if you were aware. And three, that's not in your character. Who wants to run over an old lady? But then she was too drunk and too obnoxious and too self-centered to see herself or her surroundings to be prepared for other things. That's the hard part. To give up being so self-centered, so you can start seeing the world as a circle and not the middle. And then also, it's going to be something that goes way against your instincts, is to be the same way that you usually are, the way that you've developed to keep yourself calm, safe, and comfortable. We all have developed a dopamine pathway that makes us say, okay, this is going to work for me as long as I have my coffee and cigarette in the morning, or as long as I have my caffeine, or as long as I have my nicotine, or as long as I have my sex, I'll be all right. You know what I mean? We go through a lot of things that are uncomfortable for us. We go to jobs that we're not happy in. We stay in marriages that we're not happy in, and we got outcomes that we're not happy with. And this is all of us. You know what I mean? It's not one person that's got, oh, I met the love of my life, and high school sweethearts, and we never argue, and everything worked out perfectly. No, that's not a cool story. The story is the people that know how to work together. That they were like, you know what? It's more important than me, or the table. What's more important than the table? Everybody's like, what do you bring to the table? It's not that the guy built the table and that the woman came to the table. It's like that both parties sat at the table long enough from life to come from the table. That's the hard part. That's the part that they don't want to tell you about. It's like, you got to, as women, I've been thinking to myself too, it's not that you're going to control men. You want a man that you have enough of a partnership with, and conviction, and not control, but I want to say what's the word I want to say, that influence, that this person's going to protect you. One, that's what you want it. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't want it all the fucking time, but I'm sure as fuck is when you leave your car, you're going to be like, at night, you're going to be like, where's that man at? Or when I'm lifting something, where's that man at? Or my car has trouble, where's that man at? We all need a partner in something, that we reach out to them and their knowledge base, and also to comfort us, because this is where life grows. It grows through women, but they need a man for the support system for this child to be safe in that environment. It's a whole fucking trip, but they don't realize that it's not just about how much food I can eat at the meal, or on the table, or I don't need a man. It's more like, can I handle another human being? First, I handle this human being and interact with them and make sure that they're mentally correct, or I believe in their dreams, and I support them and build their confidence so they can be as strong as I need them to be. And then, therefore, I finally got the safety that I need to have a baby and a nest, and to grow life into this world, because it takes two. We're all trying to do everything ourselves, post ourselves, video record ourselves. We don't have enough money to have a whole team to produce these things, so we have to do it ourselves. I know that's what I do with video in a sec. I edit most of the day, and I'm just like, I want to get off this fucking laptop and go play with the day. You know what I mean? I think I see some baby blue skies over here. You know what I mean? Can you see it? Yeah, little Simpsons clouds. But that's what it is. The hard part is not going in the same direction as you did yesterday, or that you're comfortable with, but breaking that cycle. And then, of course, we all have addictions. So what is it that you really want to do? It's like, do you want to keep smoking cigarettes? Do you want to keep doing methamphetamines? Do you want to keep binge drinking? Like, these are the things that everybody does, but not many people break the cycle of. You know, welcome to Saints Addiction. They don't ever stop themselves and go, okay, what would happen if I stopped drinking? Maybe you'd have a better relationship with your kids, you know? Or what if I knew how to be a team player? Then it wouldn't matter who what do you bring to the table. You're building the team together. And there's not a lot of people that want to build teams, or swallow enough of their ego to develop these things. They want to have the title bump, they want to have the feature, they want to be the main character, and that's why they're running over old ladies. That's why they don't see the flaw in their thinking. Or maybe you want everything, and I see that too. You know, everybody wants to go get a boyfriend, or they're asking for these things: 6 foot, 6 figures, 6-pack abs, and you're on some. This isn't a menu here. You know, we got so used to just punching on the phone that we're just like, DoorDash, come on, bring me my Uber Eats, and I get exactly what I want. And if I don't, I can complain to a manager. There's no manager to complain to about human beings. They come as they are. And you'll be lucky to meet one that you can even get along with, let alone want to procreate with, and let alone want to build a team with. And that's the hard part. You're like, not only am I attracted to you, and I would love to participate in sexual activities with you, but so much so that I would like to bring life into this world with you. And also, by the way, we got to be a team, and if we ever disagree, or I get emotional, or things don't go our way, we'll have to figure it out together, instead of go get a divorce, I quit, and no call, no show. Once again, it's like everybody's quitting on something, but they don't want to quit their habits. They don't want to quit that character that they keep playing. They don't want to quit their ego. And again, your ego is not your amigo, but again, that's what we serve. It's like the devil. You come and serve it and go like, I'm this way. I like to pop off. No one gets to tell me nothing. Well, then no one will tell you nothing. You're not teachable. And then you never get to learn anything, right? You're a know-it-all, and people stop dealing with you, but they won't tell you that, right? That's the hard part. It's the parts that they don't tell you. You know what I mean? They don't tell you that life is hard. It's not as fun when you don't have friends to eat with. It's not just a lonely space. You know what I mean? It makes the food taste better. My friends took me out for Thai food yesterday. I'm so grateful. Not only did I get to speak Thai with the ladies, and they liked my Thai speaking, and the food tasted authentic, but we were sitting together telling stories and making memories and taking pictures. It's that which makes the moment. If you can just make the food yourself, I think it was the movie Air Jordans, or just Air, when they were making the Jordans, and then the movie, the guy would say, I'll eat steaks by myself. He was fine dining, he was rude to the staff, and he wasn't smiling, but for sure as shit, he had a steak, but he was by himself. So is that the goal, is to be by yourself, or is the goal to find out that you can work with other people and not work by yourself? You know what I mean? That's the real goal. Or you can join a team that you want to see grow, or that you can get along with. One of my reliable models was like, they're harassing me at my job, they're bullying me, and I hate this gig, but I need the money. Why don't you find, it's hard. It's like finding a job that you don't want to quit. This is like a relationship, you know, a boss that you don't mind telling you what to do, and something with upward mobility, so that way you kind of can control your own destiny. Sounds like having a family, sounds like making a child, and everything everyone has to mature their way through. It's not easy. You were brought up with the same sex. That's the hard part. Now you got to learn the opposite sex. That's the hard part. They don't want to tell you about that, but this is something that we all got to pass. We're all smelling each other's butts. We're all trying to figure each other out. Who do we not mind buying an extra meal for? Who do we consider on our team so everybody eats? And also, who can I get along with without them trying to degrade me, or demasculate me, or put me down? I see a lot of this. Is like, you're only going to take me to Red Lobster, or you're proposing to me in Red Lobster. together and you're making a fool of yourself. And it's just like, dude, that's not the answer, right? People that don't want to get married simply don't get married, or get argue over proposals. That's what ended up happening to me. Me and my ex-girlfriend Mira, we were outside of the church where we wanted to get married right here in Helsinki. So I was just like, what the fuck, bro? Like, this is not a sign these two people shouldn't get married. And it's also a sign that it's hard to get two people to work together as a team. That's the hard part. So it's not just like your work environment or your relationship, but it's also your internal, because I promise you, you're going to have set ways that have made you comfortable, and also set ways that are going to be your reactions. And this is going to determine your interactions, your relationships with other people. It's like, how do you handle that? That's the hard part. Sure, it's hard to know finances and stack money and make money. People are so fixated on money, but the hard part is being the vibration that earns money, or the creative that created what do they call it, a funnel, a click funnel, or another income stream. These things are the hard parts to do, and it's going to have to be your passion and something that you want to keep spilling your hours of your precious life into. That's a hard part. So finding your ikagi, finding your purpose and chasing it, is the hard part. And then while you're doing it, getting along with people, and not making the same mistakes that you made in the past, and learning from your reactions. That's another hard part. And then the education of learning more skills, and getting more experiences and things that money can't buy. These are the hard parts. So it's easy to go save up some money and go buy a purse. It's harder to save up your money and do an investment, instead of going and running and doing a what do they call that again, when you do not therapy, it's a retail therapy, right? Like, it's hard to stop ourselves from overeating. Like, giving up any of these things show us that we have willpower to ourselves, that we can start changing the trajectory of the story, and not repeating what we already did yesterday, and in the same way, wearing the same clothes, doing the same things. I don't want to have a same birthday. I want every birthday to be something different. I want every day to have a challenge myself to do something different. And today's Friday, and they need the office, so I'm thinking, as soon as I'm done with all my posts, I'm going to go outside and go smoke a J right there by the river, enjoy my day. I've been working hard all week long. I'm tired, you know what I mean? I haven't really got a lot of exercise because it's been raining, and I also I can't do the morning motivation without a new SIM card. And these are all little objectives that I have to do to get past to where I want to do. And it's like, most of us just want to do the want to instead of doing the have to. And if we can just put that carrot right in front of us, this is what I did with Saints Addiction. Instead of just getting all my quick gratifications right off the bat, I made myself earn it. And that's all I did. I said, sure, you can have this blunt, but after you've done that email. Or sure, you can travel, but after you sold enough money to XYZ to buy the ticket. And don't be hesitant on this. This is going to be the hardest part of it all, but like, getting yourself to move when you don't want to move. You know what I mean? When you're already stuck, or you feel like you're stuck, or you don't know a way out, these are the times to sit still and be calm enough to figure it out. Figure it out. It's one of my shirts, but it's true. You got to figure it out. Figure it out with yourself, and go, okay, what are the repetitive things that I'm doing? What are the things that I'm doing to distract myself? You know what I mean? Like, keep playing on my phone. That's just eating up time instead of working on the solution. We'll double down on the problem and wonder why it's still happening. So I'm over here saying, like, there's plenty of solutions out there. You just got to work the solution. You got to work yourself in your center and find that balance, get away from the drama and concentrate on your breathing. Sit there long enough so you can get the visions, and then go, hey, oh, I came up with an idea, and then go work the fuck out of that idea. And then now you're doing something instead of sitting around talking about something. And that's why I found most people get stuck. They're just like, I'm just going to sit around and talk about this, and nothing ever fucking happens. Well, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And then I want everybody to have this hard part to change, because it's about time life not to be hard on people. When you start getting more gracious and appreciative, and you start reflecting, you'll be like, okay, there's so much more out here that is enjoyable than this hard part, me making my life harder than it has to be. And I think everybody can relate to that. And especially because you're your own worst enemy, you can be just like, okay, dude, enough's enough. You're going to need some exercise. You're going to need a diet, and you're going to need some focus. And I think every human being can get on that page, especially now in 2025, when there's going to be AI and robots and all sorts of cool shit that we thought is the future. The future is now, and you get to start with you. You can basically call ChatGPT and it'll be a psychologist for you. So like there are no excuses. It's just our emotions. And if we can control that, when we control that, not if, when we control that, then we control our outcomes, then we control our character, and we're not just an NPC rolling around a video game. We're actually putting ourselves on the chessboard, like I said yesterday. We're actually initiating ourselves and making ourselves do something that's brilliant. And I know it's inside you because it's inside me too. Hi, Brett Tiana, thanks for watching, you guys. You know, thanks for all the subscribes. One big subscribe. I'm Muslim. Assalamu alaikum, my brother. And as always, peace and love. And Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever in Phoenix. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. But the other side of your fear, the other side of your excuses, and the other side of the world, because that's where I am. Peace.